Thanks a lot for the introduction. My name is Bleha, and today, after many years, I'm back here at the DevConf, and I would like to give you a talk about communities. But first and foremost, to understand the audience, who of you is organizing meetups or doing anything regarding the communities? Please raise your hands. Yes, some hands. So an experienced audience. So I hope I'm not gonna disappoint you. Bit about myself, right? Yes. So I graduated in computer science years ago, but I was not interested at all in programming. And I was a bit confused that what can I do, because I've got master's degree in computer science, but I quite dislike coding. But what I loved was the organizing events. And fortunately, Red Hat had an open position of the community manager, which involved organizing DevConf here. So 10 years ago, I joined Red Hat, and in 2015, I was the main organizer of DevConf here in this venue. Unfortunately, I was a bit unexperienced, and I was quite making a lot of mistakes, and I got fired. But still, it started my career as someone who does communities for the computer in area of computer science. So then I joined Kiwi.com. I stayed at Kiwi.com for 8 years. I started the first dedicated community team. And even though there was this first mistake, still it got me into the area of communities. And fortunately, for the last 10 years, I could organize anything regarding communities. What I would like to do today is to give you 10 areas or 10 pieces of advice of what I think works in organizing events and running the technological communities. So bear with me. It's going to be just 10 points, and then we can go for the drinks or have some chat around it. First one. The first one I would like to stress out is to go bottom up, not top down. Make sure that you support individuals, not the logos. And focus on the internal talent, mentor them, and then put them into the spotlight. As a good example, I would like to see there is a call for papers here at the DevConf. That's a good example of bottom-up approach. You are looking at the bottom layer, and you are trying to, from the bottom layer, create the content. Barcamps, anyone who knows the Barcamp format of the conferences? Anyone? So it's the format where the conference doesn't have a schedule at all. People come to that place, and inside of the conference, they vote who is going to be speaking there based on the interests of the people there. So again, it's something which goes from the bottom up. The top-down example would be the big conference which pays the top speakers, Mark Zuckerberg. So if you want to create the community-driven atmosphere, focus on the bottom up. The second lesson or second area where I would like to stress out what works is to focus on many-to-many, not one way. It's about blending the organizer, the speaker, and the audience. So for example here, it's not a good example because I'm here giving you a talk, you are sitting here listening, being silent. But for example, mastermind sessions where every single participant is as well the creator of the content is a better example. Or here in the case of DevConf, the DevConf is run by volunteers, or at least it was run. I think it's still run by volunteers. So we are blending the difference between the organizers and the audience. Who of you is or was a speaker at the DevConf? Yeah, some people. Yeah, again, good example. So it's not just top speakers or some speakers and you are just listening, but there is blend between the speakers and the organizers and the audience. The third lesson is keep it as simple as possible. This is, I guess, very obvious one, but I think I would like still to stress it out. So for example, yesterday we have organized a meetup at Whalebone. I currently work for a company called Whalebone. We do information security, and we organized inside of our venue a meetup about cybersecurity. But our venue is protected physically as well, so every person who is approaching has to go through the locked door, then they gotta get some kind of like visitor badge, they gotta ring the bell, so it's quite complicated for a person to attend that meetup. So what I would like to focus next time or anytime I organize something, and I would like you to encourage as well, is to make everything as simple as possible. Communication channels, make it as simple as possible. One-click registrations. All right. Fourth one, and I think this is very important one, is focus on the niche audience. There is no community event for everyone. Always it's about something. So make sure you've got your topic clarified and make sure it's as niche as possible. So better than the, I don't know, meetup for computer scientists, it's better to organize a meetup for the Golang engineers. In case of the company I work for, the Whalebone, we do information security, but we don't do the information security meetups. We always specify it. So we do the DNS information security meetups. We do the AI information security meetups, or legal, or anything which goes as niche as possible. Fifth one, make sure that you bring a tangible value to every person who is involved. So as well as the audience, also the speaker must benefit. So if you are organizing something, you are bringing the speaker on stage, make sure that they understand the value they are getting from their participation. So they are going to grow as the competent communicators, maybe. Or they're speaking at the DevConf is going to help their promotion. So there's some competent metrics inside of their learning and development plans. There is written that they should be part of the speaking at the large conference. And as well, make sure it helps the organizer or the sponsor. So whatever you do, whatever you organize, also just make sure that who pays for it gets its value as well. Yes, please avoid empty promotions. Like make sure that there is no, I don't know, it's good that there are no roll-ups here. So it's good that it's more focused on the content than the brand. Prioritize knowledge sharing and practical takeaways. Sixth one, focus on the personal authenticity. As I said about the roll-ups, it's always better to focus on the individuals, not the brands. So even though you are in charge of, I don't know, some kind of Fedora or employer branding of a company through this kind of activities, always make sure that more than the brand, you focus on the individuals. The individual is more important than the brand. And this can be a bit tricky. I will give you one example. So at Kiwi.com, there was one guy he was super smart, and we wanted to increase the employer brand of Kiwi.com to make sure that more people tend to be hired by our recruiters. And we highlighted this guy. He was really smart, he was really great. And throughout highlighting this guy, he left the company because he was actually headhunted by Facebook. So one would think that this is something bad for the company I work for, because the person I was highlighting left. But by the end of the day, it was really great. We are still really good friends. He is still really willing to collaborate. And wherever he goes, he says that this kind of community approach and focusing on his individuality and his growth helped him to get to Facebook. He considered it as a good deal at the time. And he speaks very well about the Kiwi.com as the company who provided him with this growth. So focus more on the individuals than on the brands or the companies. 7, take the leap of faith. This is very important because quite often when you organize something, you don't have everything in one place at one time. So a good example would be the Pyvo meetups. Does anyone of you know about the Brno Python Pyvo meetups? Yeah, not many. So for 10 years or for more years, there are the regular Python meetups here in Brno. And they organize it regularly on the last Thursday of each month. And quite often, they don't know who is going to be speaking there. In the past, they didn't even know where is it going to take place. But they took this leap of faith. They said, hey, it's going to be the last Thursday of each month. And then it was much easier for them to find the other variables. So the speakers could count on it, say, hey, we know it's going to be on this date. We can make the appointment there. But provided they would be waiting for the speaker and saying, hey, we don't know whether we are organizing it. We are waiting to have a speaker, and then we are going to decide to have the meetup. It wouldn't work. So what I would like to encourage each one of you is take this leap of faith and do organize things, even though you don't have everything sorted out yet. You don't have the sponsor, you don't have the speaker, you don't have the venue, but you've got an idea. And around that idea and around your promise, maybe about the date, about your face, about your dedication to make it happen, you can bring the people in. But you've got to take this leap of faith. And sometimes you are going to fail, but that's fine. Yeah, read and act on feedback. So after every event, every community activity, I would say often you collect the feedback. But what's the tricky part is to read the feedback and act upon it. I know it sounds silly, but trust me, it's not happening. So there is a checklist, and you go through this checklist and you say, yeah, I gotta do the feedback. You are sending the feedback, people are responding to feedback, and then you forget about it because you are organizing another event, you are organizing other stuff, and you don't read it. So just make sure you read the feedback, you understand what people are saying, you get back to them, and you amend your next activities based on the feedback. Silly, but I failed many times. Create culture of encouragement and appreciation. This is super important because quite often people are not willing to do the step forward and do some kind of community activity, speak somewhere, or do some extraordinary. So first thing is to encourage people, and the second thing is to make sure that everything gets appreciated. In this matter, use many channels. So you go to the communication channels, you've got many communication channels, very possible, encourage the people, applaud them, as well as make sure you give them some kind of merchandise or physical token of appreciation. When I entered the DevConf building, I got the t-shirt that I was really happy because I was like, I'm going to be sweating on the stage. I'm glad I've got a t-shirt. So please make sure that you appreciate the people who do the extra step. And the last thing is the lead through the servant leadership. So when you do this community about whatever project or whatever interests you, please do remember that it's not about you. And help the others shine. Focus on the people, not the sponsors, and think about how they are going to benefit and how they are going to shine and how how everyone is going to be happy. And sometimes it's about losing yourself or forgetting about yourself. Yes, it's your job or your work or your enthusiasm, but the servant leadership is something you really need, or I think it's needed in this area of community building. Yes, focus on the long-term trust over short-term control. So it's better to fail, but honestly, than to succeed, but dishonestly. Yes, and the last thing I would like to leave you with is the cultivate and follow your interests and befriend those who do the same. So more on the general level, and I've got two quotes, slightly amended from the C.S. Lewis. The community must be about something. Even if there only an enthusiasm for dominoes or white mice, those who have nothing can share nothing. Those who are going nowhere can have no fellow travelers. So think about what you like and befriend people who do the same. And the typical expression of opening a community would be something like, what? You too? You are interested in the open source software and this kind of geeky project? And I thought I was the only one. So this is what I would like to leave you with, if you are more interested in community or whatever related, feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn or my website. And that's about it. Any questions?
20 minutes per question.
Yes, I was quite fast, but at least you can have the second breakfast. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks a lot.